Look, Piers, first things first, I know President Trump, and I can tell you, hand on heart, I'll put a hand on a Bible if you want, there is not a racist molecule in that man.
Hey, gossip aficionados. Grab your popcorn, because today, we are diving into the juiciest scandals of none other than Sebastian Gorka. Yes, you heard that right, Seb Gorka, the man who loves to boast about his loyalty to conservative values. But hold your horses, because we are peeling back the layers to reveal moments when Gorka showed his true colors, moments that prove he's not as right-wing as he wants you to believe. Buckle up, because these stories will have you shaking your head and laughing out loud.
Lecture at the Reagan Library tomorrow, very excited. And I pick up my rental at my favorite company.
Let's kick things off with a showdown that took place on Gorka's own radio show. One fine day, a groper claiming to be Dalton Cloudfelter called in, asking Gorka to thank him for his service in the American military. Now, you'd expect a self-proclaimed patriot like Gorka to express gratitude, right? Wrong. Instead, Gorka unleashed a tirade, accusing the caller of lying about his military service.
All very proper, blah, blah, blah.
Why? Simply because Gorka knew this caller was affiliated with Nick Fuentes and the America First movement. It was a classic case of shooting the messenger. Gorka's response wasn't just unprofessional, it was downright disrespectful. Here's a young man, claiming to have served his country, and instead of receiving thanks, he gets insults hurled at him. This wasn't just an attack on one individual, it was an attack on the entire America First movement. Gorka's paranoia about being called out for his faux conservatism led him to disrespect someone who, for all intents and purposes, could have been a genuine patriot. This incident didn't sit well with the America First crowd. They saw it as yet another example of Gorka's elitism and disconnect from the grassroots movement. His reaction was more about protecting his fragile ego than showing respect to a caller. It showcased his inability to handle criticism and revealed just how threatened he felt by the rising influence of Nick Fuentes and his followers. The scandal didn't end there. It sparked a firestorm on social media, with gropers rallying behind Dalton and calling out Gorka's hypocrisy. Memes, tweets, and videos flooded America First Twitter, turning Gorka into a laughingstock. His attempt to undermine the caller backfired spectacularly, reinforcing the perception that Gorka is all talk and no substance when it comes to true conservative values.
Who's this?
Hi there, Sebastian. This is Dalton.
Hello, Dalton.
Hey, listen, I'm a veteran, and I was there during 9/11, and I saw it all, and I was wondering, it would be an honor if you could thank me for my service.
What do you mean?
Well, I served this country for years.
What was your MOS?
I made it through fire and brimstone.
What was your MOS, dickhead? Dickhead, what was your MOS?
I was wondering if you could thank me for my service.
Hey, dickhead, what was your MOS?
My name's Dalton Cloudfelter.
Yeah, you would never serve this country because you don't even know what an MOS is. You're a lying sack of human excrement. Get off my show.
And just to sprinkle a little more drama into the mix, let's not forget the epic showdown between Valley Zuma and Gorka at a public event. Valley Zuma, a well-known groper, confronted Gorka and called him out for his slights against Nick Fuentes. Gorka, true to form, started insulting Nick, but Valley Zuma didn't back down. He stood his ground and fired back, exposing Gorka's pettiness and lack of respect for the America First movement.
Why? Where were you?
We love you, Sebastian.
Oh.
We love you. I'm a big fan of you, Sebastian. Look at this guy. Did you see my hat? It's for your show. It's for your show.
Tell Nick Fuentes he's a short little sad man.
I'll tell you you're a fucking faggot. Oh, what are you doing, dude? I said you're a faggot. I said you're a faggot. What are you guys doing? What are you fucking doing?
His credentials include writing.
Now, let's rewind to another notorious moment that had the far right fuming. Sebastian Gorka's unholy alliance with GOP establishment figures has been a thorn in the side of true conservatives. Time and again, Gorka has thrown his support behind politicians like Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham, figures who are often seen as embodiments of the Washington swamp. For the America First crowd, this is nothing short of betrayal. These politicians have consistently compromised on core conservative values, and Gorka's support for them is viewed as an endorsement of their sellout tactics. It's like cheering for the enemy, and it's something that the far right simply cannot tolerate. Gorka's alignment with these establishment figures exposes his willingness to play political games at the expense of ideological purity. Rather than standing firm on conservative principles, he appears all too eager to cozy up to power, even if it means betraying the grassroots movement. It's a classic case of prioritizing career over conviction, and it hasn't gone unnoticed by his critics. This scandal is particularly galling because it highlights a fundamental disconnect between Gorka and the base he claims to represent. While he touts his conservative credentials, his actions tell a different story. Supporting establishment Republicans, who have a track record of compromising on key issues, is seen as a slap in the face to the America First movement. The fallout from this scandal has been significant. Many within the far right have distanced themselves from Gorka, viewing him as a wolf in sheep's clothing. The trust that once existed has been shattered, and Gorka's reputation as a steadfast conservative has taken a major hit. It's a stark reminder that actions speak louder than words, and Gorka's actions have spoken volumes about where his true loyalties lie.
Middle East. I'm good, thank you. And I will be for the next 4 minutes.
Finally, let's talk about Gorka's inconsistent stance on foreign policy, a subject that has earned him no shortage of criticism from the far right. Gorka's positions on military interventions, especially in the Middle East, have often aligned more with neoconservative ideals than with the nationalist, America First agenda. For a movement that prioritizes non-interventionism and putting American interests first, Gorka's hawkish tendencies are deeply troubling. His support for military actions abroad is seen as a continuation of the failed policies that have led to endless wars and drained American resources.
Those photographs never see the light of day, but he wanted to give something to them, to give back.
It's the very antithesis of the America First doctrine. Gorka's foreign policy stance is viewed as a betrayal by those who advocate for a more restrained and strategic use of American power. His alignment with the neoconservative wing of the GOP raises questions about his commitment to the principles he espouses. It's one thing to talk about America First, it's another to consistently act in accordance with that philosophy.
If Donald Trump walked from the White House to the Potomac River...
This inconsistency has not gone unnoticed. Critics argue that Gorka's positions are more about maintaining his status within the conservative establishment than about adhering to a coherent foreign policy vision. It's seen as a classic case of saying one thing to appeal to the base, while doing another to curry favor with the powers that be.
The jury before they retire, so they can rebut what the prosecution says.
Okay. The impact of this scandal is significant. It has alienated a substantial portion of the far right, who see Gorka's foreign policy positions as a direct contradiction to their ideals. The trust deficit continues to grow, as many believe Gorka is more interested in political expediency than in genuine ideological alignment.
They listen to propaganda whores like CNN and the Washington Post. I mean, that's why. I mean, even your chyron and your introduction is a talking point for the mainstream lying legacy media. Hush.
His inconsistent stance on foreign policy serves as yet another reminder of the gap between his rhetoric and his actions.
Mr. Trump, in 2015, when I came on board to be his national security advisor for the debates, an NDA is a completely standard business practice.
I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, as I will continue posting only the best celebrity and K-pop content.
Statute of limitation expired 5 years ago.
This was Watch Wave, and until next time, have a good one.
On a financial internal document where he said this is legal fees. Well, it was because